Yes, it's another Colecovision review in 2025. And also, it's a Konami game. Share your best shocked Pikachu face today. If Pikachu existed in 1983. Which he didn't.
Antarctic Adventure for the Nintendo Famicom, developed and released in 1985 by Konami, is a Japanese exclusive release that most Americans at the time probably never heard of unless you had one of those fangled multi-cart things. Or maybe you played the game on Colecovision, which was the only video game system in North America to get an official localization.
I have. I've played it. And you know, another month or so, that review would have been 10 years old. It's actually a bit sad, actually. Anyways, in Antarctic Adventure for the venerable Colecovision system released in 1984, a year before the Famicom version we've sampled ages ago, you control a little penguin thing called Penta, whose goal in life is to race across the rough terrain of Antarctica in order to reach designated research stations and plant various country flags before time runs out, because once time runs out, the game ends. However, if you reach the research station in time, you'll plant the flag and continue on your Antarctic adventure to plant flags on all 10 research stations throughout this fine continent of broken ice, sea lions, and tons of flags. And once you've reached the final station, you get to run the gauntlet all over again. Such is life for our pal Penta. These bits of broken ice pits, seals, and blue puddle things are the only obstacles that can stun Penta for a bit and lose precious time recovering. And as Penta ventures further in his adventure, he'll have to dodge more of these things and then some. After all, it only takes one little mistake to lose the plot, and a little mistake can sometimes lead to a string of them. Along the way, you'll come across flags that you can collect for bonus points, and sometimes fish will jump out that you can collect for more bonus points. And one thing that won't help matters are the stiff Colecovision joysticks, which you'll need to use to not only move Penta left or right, but also holding up to increase your speed, which you need to do if you're to reach the end goal before time runs out. Now let me tell you something. Not the most comfortable thing to use in this sort of game, especially if half your controllers don't function as well as they should, but once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad. You use the right stick to jump while the left button does nothing, which personally I would have used for a second jump button or rather for the speed boost rather than holding up on the stick, but whatever, that's what they went with. And to be fair, the Famicom had a similar control scheme, so I don't know, it works well enough I suppose. Other than that, Antarctic Adventure is fairly straightforward, pretty easy to grasp at first, and eventually gets pretty tough upon reaching the later rounds, particularly the second to last round that requires you to clear a very small course with barely enough time to reach the finish on a good day. Antarctic Adventure is a single player only game and boasts no difficulty settings. You start up the system, you press a key, and off you go. Enough said. White terrain, occasional blue bits, seals with smiley faces, and the backside of this penguin are the constant visuals that Antarctic Adventure will bombard you with. And it's actually not a bad looking game, especially compared to the Famicom version. Save for some color differences, some minor details, and slightly rougher scaling on the Colecovision side of things, the two games look somewhat similar to each other, which is high praise for this earlier Colecovision release. And like the Famicom version, you only have one tune to serenade you throughout the whole game, which is a respectable 8-bit rendition of the Skater's Waltz. Sound effects are fairly minimal, pretty stock, nothing too special, not much else to say there. Overall, Antarctic Adventure on Colecovision is pretty good. Yes, there are some rather stiff controllers you need to work with to play this one, but other than that, it's a perfectly fine game that, with a bit of practice, can be a fun, peaceful little romp around the frozen ice of Antarctica without actually having to experience the harsh, cold temperatures, which is a plus. Between the two versions that we sampled, the later Famicom version is obviously going to be the superior outing, slight technical edge here, but this Colecovision take on Antarctic Adventure ain't too shabby either. All in all, a worthy addition to any Colecovision collection. If you have one, which you probably don't.